Hi friends, today we are going to talk about motivation. But first, let's ask ourselves, what is the definition of motivation? What does that mean exactly? The definition of motivation is the processes that guide us towards a goal. Pretty simple and pretty awesome. And the truth is that when motivation is there, it's great. And it really does make things so much easier. When I wake up and I'm feeling super excited and pumped and motivated to work out, it does make the process of working out easier. But here's the problem with it. Motivation can be kind of emotionally driven, which means it can be a little bit subjective, right? And so when we're talking about something that's subjective, if we're relying on motivation to get us to move us towards our goals, well, then it's going to ebb and flow based on how we feel. So how do we integrate the concept of discipline, choosing what I want the most over what I want now, with the concept of motivation, right? The processes that lead me towards a goal. And I would contend that it's by identifying intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, or as I like to refer to intrinsic motivation as value-driven motivation. Here's an example. Extrinsic motivation. Several years ago, I was training some people and I had a client come up to me and they're like, hey, I'm going to Mexico in 8 weeks and I want to look really good in my swimsuit. And you know what? I don't blame them. Everybody wants to feel confident in their swimsuit when they're at the beach. Totally get it. And so I set a plan in place for them. They worked really, really hard. They got to their trip. They felt confident. They looked good. They looked the way that they wanted. Awesome. They met that goal. But then the problem was that after their trip was over and they came home, they kind of just slid right back into their old habits and behaviors, and they didn't maintain that goal that they had reached. Versus in the example of intrinsic or value-driven motivation. I had a client come to me that wanted to reverse some of her numbers as it relates to her health. So she was diagnosed as pre-diabetic and she wanted to reverse those numbers. She wanted to do it because she wanted to stay healthy so that she could be an engaged grandma and mom and friend and sister and aunt. She did it for the sake of her family. She wanted to reverse these numbers because she wanted to live a long, healthy life so that she could enjoy the presence of her family and adventure with them and engage with them and be present for all those big moments in their lives. Intrinsic motivation, value-driven motivation. That client has been on this journey for over a year now and has completely reversed her numbers. She's also gotten some aesthetic results that she's happy with. But it's because she chose to focus on her value-driven, intrinsic motivation. So the question then is, how to identify if what I'm doing is extrinsically driven or intrinsically driven? And I think a great first step is to develop some awareness and just ask yourself the question, why? So when you start your day and you're getting ready to work out, why? Why am I working out? And if your answer is because I want to look good, nothing wrong with that at all. But maybe it tells you that maybe you should do some deeper digging and find another reason that's a little bit deeper and attached to a value. If your answer is because I want to be healthy for my family, well, there you have it. There's an intrinsic, value-driven motivation. So develop some awareness, ask yourself the question, why? Next steps, pretty simple. I would like to challenge you to evaluate your goals, or maybe even just one goal, and find your why. What is driving that goal? Why do you have that goal? Why do you want to reach that goal? How will your life be better and enhanced if you reach that goal? Ask yourself the question, why? This is not easy stuff. It requires some self-reflecting. It requires some honesty. It requires developing a lot of awareness. And I promise you that as you dig deep and you push into this process, you will not regret it. You will get the results that you hope for, and they will last. You're strong. You're capable. You can do this. And what I do know is that as you begin this process of identifying your motivation, it will be the spark that really ignites your fitness and wellness journey.